Let's do it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for joining us on the short squeeze. What is it? Thursday.
Thursday.
Hey, how you doing, man?
It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to be here.
Joined with Mr. M, right, who has actually changed his what's it called?
Yeah, the name of the channel and
Maurizio.
yeah, and also on Twitter. I just put my full name.
Okay,
I know
how do you pronounce your full name here, man?
It says Maurizio Pedrazzoli Grazioli, right?
Pedrazzoli
Grazioli. There you go.
Okay.
I know it's a mouthful, but actually I think it's a good thing to do because it's my name, right? And I've seen that some people have started to use my name to, by the way, guys, no one is going to approach you, neither me or Da Vinci.
Mr. Grazioli, how you doing?
Exactly. So I've seen a bunch of scammers taking my name to sell crap. So I decided to put my name. So that whenever you put my name in Google, I come up, right? As opposed to Mr. M.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
and I don't know how many Grazzolis there are. Right. Well, maybe there are Grazzolis in Italy.
yeah, in Italy it's quite common.
But also Grazioli.
That's another one.
That's a lot.
Yeah, my mom married again. My dad passed when I was a kid, and this, I guess, stepfather has been with me since forever, and he asked me to take his surname, and I said yes. So that's why I have two. And I kind of, there is a sound connection there, right? So it is what it is.
Okay. There you go.
Exactly, the name rhymes. There you go.
All right, well, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let's get going with our show for today, right? Because they're running out of Bitcoin. Because I'm telling you, we've told you this, right? We've told you this, that there's going to be a day where not every rich person, I mean, like when I look around, people are saying, oh, I wish I had one Bitcoin. Wish I had one Bitcoin. Yeah. There's going to be a time where billionaires would be like, I wish I had one Bitcoin.
0.1.
Damn, that's coming fast.
Isn't that a new American dream? They said, right?
Hey, look, Bitcoin's annoying the bears, man. They got friggin' like squeezed heavy.
Man, The Undertaker. You remember the 80s?
Yeah.
In the 90s, wrestling was...
Damn. Not fake at all. Not fake
No, it's real. Super real.
Speaking about annoying. Right?
Ooh, this is amazing.
Bitcoin fixes this.
I said my cat died.
We should start teaching him cold storage.
He's not even born yet. We're gonna have to sell the house.
Totally fine. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin.
If you say that one more time, I'm gonna lose my...
Johnny told me he doesn't want to be with me anymore. Just stay humble and stack sats.
There you go.
What?
Bitcoiners. Annoying since 2009, but still right.
Just so you know. Still right.
I like the annoying since 2009, but still right.
And we could be right for a very long time. Very, very, very long time. Very.
Yeah, you better prepare, right?
Well, whilst Bitcoin's doing well, all the rest of the crypto market is like either
holy
shit or let's fucking go.
Do you know there is another one which is my favorite? It's like a small kid, When Moon. You remember that one? There's a bunch. There's a bunch of them. It's super funny.
Damn.
Well, it looks like we are in Let's Fucking Go now, right? So all your shit is gone. I mean, for now. I don't want to jinx it, but... These guys from Naive, man, they have the best memes ever. I don't know how they find them.
This is you when you're trying to trade crypto.
Hey, we'll scroll down a little bit so that we can show the finger. There you go. I mean, this is clearly, I mean, it's not real, right?
No.
But it does share the same sentiment. The level of accuracy. Damn. Crypto in 3 cycles, right?
Exactly, yeah. True. All right, so let's listen in to what this guy has to say.
This is the new head of the SEC.
Oh my gosh, okay. Let's see, but hopefully it's something good, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. Well, I hate this guy. Everybody does.
I don't like Andrew either.
I mean, it seems to me that we have rules. We could debate whether the rules are the right rules and maybe they should be changed. But given the rules that are in place and the intention of the rule today, it seems to me that the effort to sort of, quote unquote, tokenize something, an underlying asset, and to sort of use this structure is really effectively just a workaround to what the actual intent of the rule is.
Well, I guess I disagree with that a bit because tokenization is an innovation. And we at the SEC should be focused on how do we advance innovation in the marketplace. And so I would argue here over the last several years, the SEC has been standing athwart efforts to innovate in the marketplace because things have been unclear. The rules have not been clear. We've had regulation through enforcement. That day is over. We are now, my whole goal is to make things transparent, from the regulatory aspect and give people a firm foundation upon which to innovate and come out with new products and so that they know what they're doing.
I think there are two things to think about, Andrew, and that's tokenization of U.S. stocks, which is one thing which could drive a lot of cost savings for all parties.
I'm not against tokenization. I'm saying
settlement times would be reduced.
I'm talking about if you wanted to tokenize SpaceX, which is a private company.
And then there's also an access to private credit, I think you were mentioning, which is a complete individual investor access to private credit, which is also another sort of tricky area in that this is also, as you mentioned, it's not as much liquidity. Valuations are very difficult, particularly I would imagine for an individual investor. I mean, there are a lot of things here that are new frontiers for investors. Where do you stand on that?
Well, two questions. So as far as tokenization, other innovations in the marketplace to make trading and holding securities easier and with quick settlement, my predecessor pushed for what we call T+1, meaning settlement and clearance the day after the trade, trading day. And so tokenization and other aspects of doing that tokenization in the marketplace is yet the next step to have much more efficiency in the marketplace and certainty of having a trade settle. But way back in the 1960s, before our time, basically the New York Stock Exchange had to close for 2 days a week just to catch up on the paperwork from the stacks of paper certificates that were going from one brokerage to another.
There you go. So what does that mean? For all y'all that are listening and like, I don't know what this nigga's talking about. Because I know that there's a lot of you out there like that.
Confused.
So I'm going to break it down for you, right? Basically what they're saying, the SEC chair has just came out and said that we're going to allow tokenization of stocks, meaning that you can buy stocks directly and own them like you used to in the past, own them directly and be able to sell them directly to somebody else. Today, you can't do that, but tomorrow you will. That's the key thing with this new SEC chair and the future of stocks. Boom.
Exactly. You know, also what was super interesting for me that Andrew was saying, oh yeah, but there are rules. And he said, well, there is no clear rules. The SEC never had any clear rules. Now I'm going to make clear. I mean, there was something, right? Because nobody knows what rules.
I know exactly.
Like there is no rules. Like Gary Gensler has done. It was a little bit wishy-washy, right? Or whatever you say, wishy-washy. So he
said Gary Gensler said they're all securities.
Exactly. So
that's what he said. He says or when they were asked, so which ones are securities? Yes.
Exactly. Do you think it is a security? Well, so it depends on how you classify. It's whatever. So it was really, there was no regulations, no rules. Now he said, I want to be clear and transparent, which is awesome. So the market is going to respond to that.
Yeah. So there it is, right? It's crystal clear what, for me at least, I don't know about you guys, but I know that this is the thing, right? I don't like stocks because you can't own them directly. That's my problem, right? Once they become a digital asset that you can own directly, well then then it's proper. It used to be like it was, right? Remember he said they closed down the stock exchange in order to keep up with all the paperwork and moving. That's how it should have been, right? You should be able to hold your asset that you've purchased, right? Not some other company like the DTTC, I think it is called, that holds your securities, right? And in some cases, which you're not even sure if you're a broker, in some cases, some brokers just you're just a liability. You don't even actually own the stock. You're a liability on their balance sheet to the stock price. So not effectively, what does that mean? That means that when you go to buy the stock, you actually don't involve in actually making the price go higher. They're just giving you it at a price.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then they owe you whatever the stock price is.
In dollars.
In dollars, yes. So that's the scam situation that we're in. And that will clear up a lot, right, in the future, right? So that will help a lot of businesses, right? Because then they can actually IPO without paying billions of dollars and stuff like that. It's not billions, but still, it's a ridiculous amount of money to IPO and stuff.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
So
that's what's coming next. And if you have, by the way, guys, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I always look at the chat, and I'm saving them for the Q&A segment at the end of the show.
Thanks to Altcoin Daily.
Yeah, Aaron and Austin. Thank you so much, guys. All right, the M2 global liquidity seems to be, following. There are a bunch of things you can overlay on top. Like there is a 73 days, 108, and they show different charts. But it looks like we are about to pump again, right?
Yeah, let's see. Bitcoin to the moon.
Bitcoin to the moon. Yeah. Check this out. Just in over 8% of Trump net worth is now invested in Bitcoin and crypto.
Back in the 70s, you guys weren't around back then. And yes, I was born then, but come on, man. I wasn't around when Tricky Dick Nick said, right? We're all Keynesians now. Just so you know what that means, it means that the Keynesian economics believed in, paper money, being able to create more money, having governments go into debt and create more money in order to solve problems in the economy, which is stupid, right? But now, Trump has just finished saying with this, we're all degens now.
Yeah, exactly. And I like this. And yet, he doesn't understand it. I agree on this one, by the way. It's but many people invest money in things they don't understand, right? It's not just Trump. But I understand. Yeah, no, exactly. He's a total degen now. Because if you have 8% of your portfolio in Bitcoin and crypto, because they are different things, I believe, you are a degen now, right?
Exactly.
Welcome to the club, Trump.
And it's gone.
He launched a fragrance the other day called 47. Like, he has done, at this point, watches, shoes, NFTs, memes. But like you said so well a while back, every president launched their own coins.
Exactly.
Or, not necessarily on the blockchain, but it was
just a commemorative coins.
Exactly. So, same thing.
So it's
right?
the same thing. Right?
Yeah. Same thing, different format.
Exactly.
All right, this is interesting. The Federal Housing Regulator calls Congress to investigate on Jerome Powell.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So, because he's not printing yet. It's not touching.
Oh, I get it. It's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Oh, geez. That makes so much sense. Right? So these companies, right, which are what's called GSEs, right? Government-sponsored enterprises, right? That's what it stands for, GSE.
Yep.
And you're like, government-sponsored enterprise? Okay, so it just means that it's a business that the government helps. Another way of saying it, okay? And so these so-called GSEs are losing money. Why? Because, people are defaulting on mortgages and, they can't afford to pay the high interest rates. So it's not the GSE's fault for not doing some vetting on their who can buy a house and who cannot buy a house, right? It's Jerome Powell's fault. It's your fault, insurance, right? It's this man's fault. This man's. It is his fault. His fault. I didn't plan my company properly, right? And I was expecting free money from government because I'm a government-sponsored enterprise. And you ain't acting like the government. Well, you're not realizing that the Federal Reserve is not part of the government.
Yeah.
It's a private company, dog. That's where you failed.
There is definitely interest to make them part of the government, right? So they can control the print press, sorry. Do you think they will? Because
Okay.
What do you feel?
No. Because it's like,
How about no?
put it this way, Doug. Let's pretend you created the Federal Reserve, right? And you're getting all that interest payments for all the money that gets loaned out directly. Now,
We want to give it to the government?
if you've got all this money coming in, right? Do you have enough resources to maybe control the government to
Yeah.
make them decide not to do that?
Would you give that away? That's the thing.
I'm just saying. You might have enough resources for that.
Just to be independent.
Oh, by the way, since you own the printing press, could you actually just print some more money to make sure that you maintain ownership of that printing press?
I agree, but then on the other side, Trump wants it, right? Because whoever controls the press controls the world. So he's probably thinking, how do we get our hands into that department? We want it to be part of the government, and they want to stay independent.
Yeah, but dude, he's not working. He's only working there for 4 years, man.
I know. So what? Yeah.
Yeah, and he said he wanted to check out the gold, right? And
Fort Knox.
where did that happen? Where did that go, right? So
Yeah.
so he could talk all he wants, right? About I want the government to have control over the printing press. He can say that all he wants. He can say, I want to see the gold, right? But somebody, right, who's controlling the printing press says, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it.
Oh, of course, yeah. You don't want to see it.
You don't want to take over the
Jedi
Federal
thing.
Reserve, right?
Yes. Damn. If the gold is there, you don't want to go and check.
Exactly.
Damn.
Done.
Yeah.
Right? And you could do the Jedi thing if you've got unlimited money.
Hey, if you got the press, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. A
Damn.
little bit.
Do you think Trump is gonna make him go away? Like people are saying, oh, he can't fire Jerome, and I agree, but he can put pressure, right? So do you think Jerome is gonna get kicked? He's gonna get the boot?
Yes, because they can always do that. I mean, so that they feel that they have some sort of control, the government, right? That's what it was designed for. Is so that they feel they have some sort of control, that they feel that they can save face when they go, yeah, I want to bring it here. We're going to put this into control of the government. Oh, yeah, it's under control. Just hire somebody else.
Yeah.
Choose somebody else,
Yeah.
right? And then you can save face. And you say, yeah, well, you know what? We're not going to take over the control of the Federal Reserve, but we're going to put our guy in there. And there you go. Now you feel good, right? That's what the Rothschilds say. Now you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
But
my gosh!
that's a good comment, though. I hope everyone has asset when the money printer turns on. If you don't, you're cooked. Yes, 100%. Because when money is gonna flood in, you want to protect, right?
Exactly.
Yourself
exactly.
with assets.
All right, so I want to just go off on a rant, right?
Go for
just a little bit, okay? So, a lot of people think that the money that they have is real money, but there's a few of you who know that the central bank, Federal Reserve, or your central bank, wherever you live, is creating all this money, and so this money that they create, they get to charge interest on it. And then where does that interest payment go? Well, we don't know. It goes to somebody who has maybe a different interest than you do. So, if you think you could vote your way into solving the central bank problem, think again. Because if you were in control of the money printer, you could do whatever you like. You could pay whatever politician you like to make sure you maintain control. So understand that and start buying Bitcoin. Done.
100%.
All right.
Who controls the printer? Controls everything. The IOUs, exactly. Yeah. All right, this is how it works. Sending Bitcoin from you to whoever. And if you send in fiat, you got a bunch of steps between, right?
A few, one or two.
And that might take a commission.
Yeah,
a little cut.
Little bit. Just shave and a haircut.
Yeah, banks, right? Remember, it's funny. There is a lot of. I'm saving a bunch of comments for the comment session, and there is a lot of people saying, "Oh, XRP is becoming a bank." Guys, that is not a good thing. Like, banks are evil. That makes sense.
But that's why XRP couldn't get that, right?
Exactly, they are evil.
They're the same, right?
It makes sense.
They lie and cheat and steal.
Yeah. Hence, a bank is perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But we remember, we do not like banks. We never liked them. So the old thing is a full circle.
Perfect.
It's perfect ending.
There
Perfect ending for the evil of the coins becoming a bank. Duh. Anyway, we'll chat later about this. There you go. So, ouch.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Well,
that's another reason why you should never invest into this thing, right?
Exactly, because come on, man. Let's list off some of the slight problems. If we were to go and check out all the ledger of everything that ever happened on the Ripple ledger, can we find out all that information?
Nope. Conveniently, the first few 50 entries have been removed.
You don't need to see that.
You don't need to see that. Don't worry about it. We only know what happened.
Yeah. It's just
by the way,
you to find out.
By the way, the old supply has been made from thin air. Bitcoin has to be mined, remember, whether XRP, boom, all of it. And 50% has gone into Ripple.
Yes.
50%.
Yeah. They have one central node that does everything. That's like if, I mean, there are nodes, right? There are other nodes. But if we decide, the central node decides to change something, everybody else has to follow. All the other nodes have to follow or they get kicked out.
Yeah, and there is KYC. KYC. So decentralized, right? All right. And by the way, the 50% they have in their hands, they are not going to sell it. No.
I mean, all the technical people, right? That when Ripple first came out back in the early days, right? We're saying this is not even a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, which is true. It's a digital currency, right? I mean, that's what it is.
Yes.
So you decide where to put your money. But for me, people chanting that it's becoming a bank, that's a reason not to. Why would you buy equity in a bank? Like, Bitcoin is the reason why it's the opposite. Like, we don't like banks. But hey, your money, your choice, obviously.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, this is the bigger elephant in the room. Less than 50% of the Bitcoin on exchanges. So are we going to see like a supply problem there?
Slight problem. Yes, well, at least that's that's surpassed, right? You know what surpassed that? Bitcoin treasuries. Damn. So wait until this drops.
And the other number goes up.
And this doubles. This thing doubles. Damn.
Yeah, then Bitcoin.
Damn.
The price has to reflect, right?
Damn, G.
I mean, of course, whenever we see Bitcoin going back into exchanges or any crypto, Bitcoin is not crypto, but crypto assets and Bitcoin going back into the exchanges is because people want to sell them.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's usually just people want to sell them, right? Or planning to sell them. And so, or they're just holding them there, right? And then because they don't know how crypto works. Like,
yeah, fair enough.
It's not your keys, not your crypto. And so they're just like, oh, well, that's where I put my wallet. And so that just makes it easier for, them for either A, the person to sell it, B, someone to steal it,
yeah,
or C, the government to steal it, right? So there it is.
Yeah. You know what's very interesting? I've spoken to a bunch of people lately. They contact me through LinkedIn or whatever, saying, "Hey, you are the Bitcoin guy now. Bitcoin is over 100,000, blah blah blah." And it turned out that more than literally 80% of those people they contacted me, they kept their crypto in their phones on an exchange. And I was like, "Whoa!" So first, I wouldn't use a phone, right? I mean, if you have a computer, if you have access to a computer, choose not to use a phone because you lose the phone immediately. Okay, there is pins and passwords, but it's another level of exposure you don't want to have. And like Da Vinci said, if you have like $1,000 of crypto, get a $50 hardware wallet to protect the 1,000 you have, because if it's on the exchange, it's not in your hands, right?
Yeah, but it takes a while for people to understand that concept, right? Because it's new. Right? To own directly a digital asset is a new concept for humanity. That's the thing.
Exactly. And we are working on something, by the way. I don't know how much you want to say, but we're working on something to help you guys.
Yes, we're working on it. I'm working on it right now. Right after the class, right after this, we're going to...
The show is, exactly. We're going to work on it.
What the hell?
July 1st. Yeah, we've seen... I mean, it takes 24 hours to see the data, right? So today is, of course,
Canadians were selling or something? Like
Canada Day. I mean, interesting that every single one of the most, the one they have volume, they sold. So that's an interesting one. But we've seen, I think, almost 2 weeks of positive inflows coming in. So it is okay to see a little bit of a...
As soon as the price goes up, it's like, oh, we got to buy it. Right?
Yeah.
When it's going down, we got to sell.
Yeah, but it makes sense, right? Fear and greed. The FOMO and FUD kind of thing. So... does make sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
July is positive so far. I know it's only the 3rd, so there is the whole month to see, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's see the Q3. We're in the Q3, so nice.
Yeah, not bad. And Ethereum started. I mean, look at Q2. 30. Is it 36? 37%?
Yeah, but look at this.
Yeah, I know.
50%. So.
I know. It's like it's gonna
have to go 100%.
Yeah, to go back to Q1. Yeah, I know. But, still, it's better than seeing another red month, a quarter, sorry. So that's not too bad. But Bitcoin is pushing really hard. So it's good to see. Of course, greed has gone up a bit.
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's part of the journey, right? We can stay extended in either way, fear and greed, for a fair amount of time. So I wouldn't be worried about it.
Not many basis points have gone up since, July 2nd. I mean, I think we showed this on Monday, but I don't think... I think, what was it? It was 16.0.
It was 16. It was already 16, but it was just barely 16.
No, it was 16.18.
16.18? Okay.
It was 16. I think it's the same.
But last week was 15, right?
But it was like 16.0 something last week, Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Or last week's Thursday or
it was
something.
Barely 16.
So I don't think we have any movement since the last time we showed it. But the 16.18 is good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and I bet we're going to see another inflow, and this was updated yesterday. So by tomorrow, the number is going to be the number. It could go higher.
Yep.
Guys, this
take a screenshot of that.
This is crazy how no one is actually talking about this. This is mad, right? And we haven't even seen. I think the real competition is going to begin, because now, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, there is Metaplanet, talking to Sailor, talking to Jack Moller. I'm going to be number 2. I'm going to be number 1. We're going to buy more. The race has begun.
Yeah, it's on. It's on and popping. See who can get the most amount of Bitcoin. Can you imagine? Okay, so what happens is, right? Not every millionaire is going to be able to own a Bitcoin. And the reality is, there's like, how many millionaires? There's 666 million millionaires. And so effectively, right, with these guys buying up big percentages of Bitcoin, and let's just say, they get, there's a 50% of the Bitcoins are held in small amounts of hands, right? The top, maybe 1,000 hands.
Yeah, there is.
Right?
Let me find the charts. Meanwhile, there is a big.
That would mean that there's only like 10 million Bitcoin that can be spread out amongst the millionaires, right? And so that's even less that will be available. Less. that will be available for every single millionaire. Like today, right? There's somebody with $1 million in cash, right? I'm sure somewhere with $1 million in cash, because that's the only way that the EU could say, yeah, there's so many people with cash. We need that.
Yeah, yummy. Exactly.
Hook me up.
Yummy.
There's so many people with $1 million in cash, and right now they're looking at Bitcoin. No. And so right now they can afford to buy 10 Bitcoin, just under 10 Bitcoin.
Yep.
But very soon, when they finally realize it, they won't be able to buy one.
Indeed.
One.
I know. Yeah, that's one I wanted to show. I don't know how much it was. December 2024. So this is really interesting. Maybe we can talk about this tomorrow. There is the ownership distribution among the whole network, and you can see the difference between Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah, individuals have 11 million, have 12 million, yes.
Massive difference. So that's really interesting. Maybe we can talk
and
about
they're
this
going to get rid of them, right? Because most individuals don't know how to save and don't realize that you don't need to sell your Bitcoin at all.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Period. Right? So, yeah. Let's talk about that another day. Okay.
All right. Is soap and towel moments?
I think so. So, we're trying to get, secure our bloodline or something.
Have you got your puff?
Should we?
That's the way I wasn't ready for this.
Should we? Well, I mean, I didn't even want to look at this in the first place, but
okay, the portfolio is about to show the value. Let's see how bad it is. I mean, there was a moment where last night I was taking a bunch of screenshots.
No, but here's the thing. This is pretty. This is not a rated. This is an X-rated screen, really. So, yeah, let's share. And so,
right.
yeah, we've gotten bent over by Thanel.
Yeah, he's not.
He's clinched.
I
watched this all out.
Damn.
Oh my God! I hope they don't. They I think it's pretty much rugged, but I hope it's because look, I think it's this year. This is where it opened on the first, and it went down and then went up. So they went below their actual all-time low. So
I mean, I like that we have the uptrend highlighted, right? And then we did see a bump. It's just the thing is we didn't take profit, of course. But look, there is another accumulation there.
Yeah, and I think because there's probably 1 billion. Is there 1 billion tokens out? And I think a lot of them are being held because there's 100 million in the what's it called, the liquidity pool. They might have like a lot more. No, let's see here.
This is you know what this pattern is called?
11%. Exactly. Yes, that's definitely, you can see that McDonald's pattern here, right there. But yeah, let's see here. Do they have? Ooh, wow, 1%. Let's see here. 30% is held by everybody else at 200 and 300 million. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of holders everywhere, so I don't know. It'll be difficult for this thing to if these holders are all real people, for this thing to do anything, because everybody will just sell whenever they get a chance. So
yeah.
Oh well, it was fun whilst it lasted.
Exactly. We'll find the next one.
Who knows? We might not take it up there.
Just yet.
Should we get some more just in case?
Yeah, sure. I mean, at this point we have. I mean, I think we don't have much to lose, right? This is the lowest has been, right? So, but we should do, or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I mean,
because it'd be funny to explain it to our accountant.
So how did you make your how did you got rich? So
I'll just get 0.1, right? They won't give back all our profits.
All right. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. After all, this is the
We're
Degen
degens,
section.
yeah.
Exactly. So
We're all degens now.
what Degen will be if we
Exactly.
didn't have any.
If we didn't degen in. Well, this hasn't. This worthless coin didn't go worthless on us. Worthless. Not yet. But it will be. Maybe one day. Be worthless. Live up to its name. Worthless.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Did we go paid? No?
We only got paid on the Thanol and
Okay.
the Thanol.
Okay.
Right, let's see.
Peppa
Peppa
Pig.
Pig. Peppa
Nice.
Pig.
$28,
man.
Damn.
$28. Well, somebody spent, $3 to buy something, right?
Yeah, it is
$3
what
a buying. Like 13 cents. Look at that, 13 cents. Wow. This guy went heavy.
Calm down on the buying. Right?
Hold on.
Guys, hold on.
Hold on, man. That was a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy. Right?
I'm surprised.
Like, guys, like, why don't we all just buy it, like, just for fun? I mean, if you can't afford it, right, that's okay. It is just for entertainment purposes.
Oh, this 100%, yeah.
Let's all just put in like $10 and see what happens. Right?
What was the all-time high when we were in Russia in December or November last year?
It was like all-time high was almost $1 million. Million.
Damn.
Was a million market cap, $1 million market cap. So
dang. But it was
$500,000.
It was last year, no?
Sure. Yeah. Last year, and then in January,
it bounced.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So who knows, right? Well, you know what? Let's if we get another meme coin cycle, right? We'll pump this thing. So let's just put in a small, just for fun.
Yeah, this is the
Pump
mascot.
fun.
This is the mascot. The show mascot. No, non-officially, unofficially.
Unofficial mascot.
Exactly, unofficial mascot. Which, by the way, they actually have a. Remember, I sent you. They have the character thing. They have a store. They sell T-shirts and not the meme coin, like the real thing. So it was funny. You can get a T-shirt. Peppa Pig.
Indeed. Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig. All right. Yeah, we already saw talk about this one.
That was
so let's go degen.
All right, let's hunt. PPP.
Plunge protection team.
Person pump.
PPT.
Person. Person pump person.
Okay. No.
Oh, it's supposed to be player pump player, kind of thing. You know, the PvP player versus player.
Person pump person. I think it's rugged.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
Oh no! Wait, no. It's still good.
Okay.
Okay.
PPP. How's the salami going, by the way?
Salami?
Yeah. How's our salami?
I don't know.
That was the
Probably
chat.
got cut up.
The chat wanted us to get it the other day. So let's see. Yeah, exactly. Salami.
Is
salami.
this it? Where is it? I don't know where it is.
Don't we have it in our wallet? No.
Yeah, I know we did get some salami, but let's see here. Maybe it's a different name.
I think was it salami or solami?
Yeah, I think it just got rugged though. Fart book. There it is.
Solami.
Solami.
Solami. There you go. Oh, okay. I mean, rug yet, but
Keyword on yet.
emphasis on yet. I mean, it's in there.
Yeah. It hasn't beaten our salami yet.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. Well,
Should we get some more?
I guess. I mean, it's we are basically at the bottom. Do you
This thing
think
flagged out and then dumped.
and then
Yeah, maybe not.
And it's gone.
Yeah, maybe not.
But I guess, I mean, if they wanted to rug, they would have rugged already, right?
Yeah, but it means it's just got some more downside. That's all.
It looks promising. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no more Elon Musk. What's with Elon Musk, man? Every other day there is a coin on Elon.
Really? They keep doing the bow bow.
I think the bow bow thing died.
I know.
The dog died.
No, we got the bow bow coin and it
we
bow
got
bowed us.
Spank in the face. I'm confused. on this one.
Darwin, yeah. We don't want to Darwin gumball.
Yeah.
We don't want any of your gumballs, please, because we don't want to win
What's
the
this one
Darwin
there?
Award.
Is it Unkitty? This one down there? What's that one? Yeah,
Unkitty.
Unkitty. Oh.
Yeah, it's unkittied it, all right.
But it was supposed to be like...
It just unkittied it.
Yeah.
Okay. Reinvest. You never go full retard, man.
No.
They went full retard there. You never go full retard.
It's not really exciting.
The trenches are not so fun anymore.
Yeah, I think the creativity is dying down.
Trenches are a little bit...
What's that? Send it there. Look, send it. Looks good. That one. Send it.
They sent it and sent it right back.
Damn, they actually broke the uptrend there. Right?
Damn. They sent it right back.
But, this could be the low before he rugs.
Exactly.
The low before the rug.
Right. You can see that there's no break in the trend here. Well, maybe we could buy it and it could double from here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, there's some resistance there, right? But this was like a proper... Nah. How many orders?
So we would need to get to the 61.8 in order to get us a double.
There's 3,000 orders. Send it.
Send it. All right, let's get it.
It's probably the best of the bunch we've seen today, right?
Let's get it.
Ooh, what happened? Okay. I was like, how have we gone from 8.9 to 10.4?
Maybe because of Peppa Peep, right? Because Peppa Peep was not being...
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it shows us the Peppa Peep, how much, because we bought some and then it shows up.
Yeah, it shows up. Oh, warning, perfect.
Definitely. There we go.
I liked it that the tagline is, looks good.
Looks good. Send it.
Send it.
Send it.
Okay. I'm sure we've seen this before. Maybe it was another one.
Should we put some protection on there?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I wonder. I don't think Phantom has ever seen so many tokens.
Nope.
In one wallet. Ever.
Like, you guys need to stop your Degen.
We're gonna get a message saying we're gonna send you a voucher.
Stop the Degen.
You need to stop it.
Just stop it.
I mean, there is only a bunch. They can actually. I don't know if they have a limit on how many tokens you can have. I'll ask ChatGPT later. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't think so.
Maybe not.
Then they're going to give us a call. You guys got to stop the Degen.
You won the Degen medal. But stop it now.
Exactly. Oh, damn. All right, it's time for Q&A.
All right. Alan is asking, what is the best way to store crypto?
Ooh, well, the best way to do it, right, I think, personally, because I like it, because you could use it with your phone, right, is with, what's it called, Keystone. And I like, that's why I like Keystone, because with Treasure, you have to connect it to a computer. Yeah. And yes, if you're saving for long term, it's perfect, right? Because then you have to do a lot of work, got to go to a computer, got to think about it, and then it makes you go, okay, I don't know if I want to do that, right? So you can use Treasure for that. But if you want to be able to access it, because you're always doing some work, moving money around, right? You're doing, like, for example, you're storing it on Ethereum. Use Keystone. I think that's best, because then you could use your MetaMask and just go scanning a barcode and just back and forth with your device, and it's like there's no interaction with the web, with the internet, with your device. it just does the signing, and then you could check to see what's going on. Now, with Ethereum, the problem is that a lot of tokens such as USDT, USDC, they have to go through a separate contract. So when sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they will say, oh, well, instead of sending it to the person that you want it to, it goes to the contract. And you're like, I don't know. That's not where I'm sending it.
So that's what happened to Bybit.
So that's the only problem I find is the issue with USDT and USDC and all. So on certain tokens that have to go through some sort of like regulatory contract before they actually go and send the coin. So that's the issue, and because you don't know if it's going to the right place. So I always have to do, okay, well, I'm going to send you a small amount
and test.
The test.
Yeah, that's
right?
the best.
Because you could look through the code, right? And the that you're signing, you're like, I don't see my address anywhere that I'm sending it to.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
And it's like, what the hell is that? Right?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So that's the only downside side to it, right? You should always look, but it's not always going to tell you if it's actually sending it to the right place. On Bitcoin it is, right? Because there's no smart contracts.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like sooner or later you're going to have to pay your tuition. Like I've done it myself as well, because then you become confident. And then what happens, you're talking to someone on WhatsApp.
And this is perfect for class. This is information, man.
Exactly.
I
wonder.
Do something like that.
Exactly. Stay tuned. Exactly. What do you guys think about Solana right now? I am planning to go full Degen on it. What do you think about Solana?
How about no?
I mean, you label it right. I'm thinking of going full Degen.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
So if you want to go full Degen.
I mean, is it a possibility that all of a sudden once Bitcoin, Bitcoin's going to blow, right? With all the massive money that's coming in. I mean, the amount of money that's coming in seems unreal, right? I mean, to move Bitcoin, right? The way it did, right? Anywhere between $5 and $50 billion came into Bitcoin just yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Depending on, how many people sold and all that kind of stuff, right? So.
I mean, question for you though. Would you see an interest coming from corporations when the Solana ETF is going to say we're going to reward you with 7% of whatever the amount, 3% staking? Because that's the key. Because Ethereum doesn't have any. That could be maybe, but first we have to see Bitcoin going parabolic, right?
But I'll be honest with you, right? I'll be honest.
No, don't lie.
If we look at the dominance chart, right here tells us you're screwed.
Bitcoin dominance,
You're screwed. Yes, it's coming back down a little bit, right? But this is probably only going to be a temporary downward movement, but it's coming up.
Before it goes up again.
Exactly. And really, you'd have to wait for it to for this to come up to the 74% before we actually see downtrend. Now, this is a long time away from here, of course.
Yeah, but the direction is going that direction.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, maybe I don't know. No, by the way, no financial advice. So don't take any of what I'm about to say as a financial advice. But maybe one play could be to have a, let's say you have a for the sake of numbers, you have $10,000 you want to invest. You can go in with a large sum in Bitcoin and take a percentage. It could be 10, 20%, and go into Solana. For
exactly,
example.
and then if it works out, then you're guaranteed with Bitcoin and
exactly.
Solana, if it gives you more, it'll just give you more.
Exactly. Bitcoin is going to forgive the fact that Solana won't perform as
exactly. That's the best thing. You're right.
We have a super chat, by the way. Thank you so much.
Somebody asked about Sui.
Yeah, go for it. Meanwhile, I'm going to put the super chat on. Is there going to be a Bitcoin dip coming? Well, the answer is yes. The big question is when. Like if the bull market plays out as like the others, we should see an end in a few months and a big correction at the end. But
watch my show because this thing looks like it broke.
Is that Sui?
It's Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Right. So it's breaking out. Right. It looks like it's breaking out because it came down to this. Here, let me just make it bigger. Make this the 4 hour, and then go like this. So, key thing here is that this downward trend line was respected, right here, because there's 3 touch points. This is the third one, and then when we got to short squeeze, we blew. Remember what I said? If we blow past, if we end up having like everybody FOMO, we could end up breaking this level here. And once we do, that's another indication that this could be a breakout above the 112. It is what it is.
Yeah. Was the 112 the all-time high, right? I mean, depending on the exchanges, but more or less.
There it is, right? So there it is.
Okay.
Somebody asked about Sui. What has happened to Sui? Sui, though, from, what was it? No, September. Oof. Yeah, September. And then dumped into March, and it's pumped again, and now it's back down. So, I mean, it's not so bad. Sui's still doing better than Solana did.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, the funny story was Solana is supposed to be the Ethereum killer. Sui is supposed to be Solana killer.
Yes.
I mean, whatever, man. That's
like whatever.
It is what it is. When $3 million Bitcoin, I mean, that's a good one. It is gonna. We will see, I believe, 1 million in the next bull run.
Yeah, we'll see.
So maybe the one after could go to 10. So maybe 8 years. That will be. I don't know if you agree, but it's a bit of a. It's difficult to say, but.
Yeah, I'd say the next 10 years, maybe 10 to 12 years.
Two or three cycles.
Yeah, within the next 12 years.
Yeah, and here's the argument, right? So the argument is if you believe. By the way, as much as I do and as much as Da Vinci does, that Bitcoin is going to go to 10, 3, 5, 10 millions. Does it actually matter if you buy at 93, 150, 120? It doesn't matter, right?
Exactly. It's going to happen because our whole financial system is like, I was watching a show talking about how the property taxes is a big Ponzi scam against the people. Right now, there's quite a few people who are paying more in property tax than how much that they actually paid for the house per year, right? So, and why is that? It's because the municipalities are just constantly going into debt and and the only way for education, right? That's where your property tax goes to mostly, and they're constantly raising the private properties in order to pay off the debt that they've rolled over and over again. So it's basically they're never paying off the debt; they're just rolling it over forever, and they're just charging the individuals the property tax. And so that's the system everywhere. And so this can't last. This is coming to an end, and the municipalities will default, and the money will drop in value because of the default, and that's that. I mean, it is coming. Because if people can't, I mean, it's not really, you can say, well, if people can't pay, they'll lose their house. Yeah, that's true. It's true, right? But eventually, right, if enough people can't pay, they will go, wait a second here, dog. You need to stop. Right? You need to stop. And so there it is. Right now, it's just 1 or 2 people that are getting screwed over at a time. But as our debt balloons, those 1 or 2 are going to be, thousands. And then once that happens, then, it's game over.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe not, because you know what? Most people don't own homes. They won't even know.
Depending on the game you play, it could be over or not.
Exactly. So, there it is.
Nice. Yeah, we have another super chat. I don't know why you guys are upset to understand who Satoshi is. Who cares?
I know.
I don't know. There is so many people.
Okay, you know what? That guy? I know who Satoshi is. He's Hitler, right? Hitler invented Bitcoin, right? So does that mean Bitcoin's bad now? Right? He was reincarnated and came to make Bitcoin into existence, right? Does that mean Bitcoin is bad? Because he did it, right? He killed a lot of Jews, right? How about Epstein, right? He was like a child killer, right? How about that? He made Bitcoin. Does that make Bitcoin bad?
Yeah.
Right? No, because math is math. Right? Math is frickin' math. It either adds up or does not. Got it?
Yeah, thank you for super chat, by the way. But I wouldn't bother in advertising. Who cares? Like, whoever he was or she was or they were, they wanted to keep their identity secret. Exactly. So why do you go and just let it go? It doesn't matter. It's math, right?
Gold in the hands of the people is the enemy of the state. Is that true or not? If you hold assets that the government can't print, is that the enemy of the state because the state can't print the money? Yes, that's true, right? Well, guess who said that? Do you know who said that? Who said that? Hitler.
Yeah.
So it don't matter if the devil tells you the truth. It's still frickin' the truth.
Yeah. And it is my absolute favorite characteristic of Bitcoin is we don't know who Satoshi is or was. And if there was an option for me to know, I'll say no. Who cares? Like, we have to respect their anonymity, right? So it's a journey they will take you down to. I don't think it's worth it. Just it's math, right? Yeah, exactly. We are Satoshi, all of us, right? That's how I'd like to see it.
Exactly. Done.
Thank you for super chat, though.
All right. Okay, guys. That's it for today, right? Just a reminder for all you guys who are watching and watched all the way to the end that I will not be here next week and the week after. We will be back broadcasting this show on July 21st. So stay tuned for that. July 21st is when we'll be back on the show. So maybe I'll do some shows here and there.
Between.
But for the most part, July 21st. Okay?
Nice.
Peace.
Cheers.